There's a city in California that's supposed to have 400,000 people living in it. 400,000! That's roughly the population of New Orleans or Denver or the entire state of Wyoming packed into one place. Except it doesn't. In fact, it never did, and at this point in 2026, it probably never will. California City sits in the middle of the Mojave Desert, about an hour north of Los Angeles, and it's one of the strangest places you'll ever actually visit. Not because it's dangerous or scary, but because on maps it looks like this massive metropolitan area, and when you drive through it in reality, you're basically just looking at empty streets going nowhere. This is the story of the guy who thought he could build a second Los Angeles in the desert and how it all spectacularly fell apart. Let me set the scene for you. It's 1956. The real estate market near Los Angeles is insane. Houses cost money that normal people just don't have. So a real estate developer named Nat Mendelsohn, he was also a sociology professor, which honestly makes this whole thing even weirder, decides he's going to solve California's housing crisis by building an entirely new city from scratch. Not a subdivision, not a small development, a full city. He buys 80,000 acres of Mojave Desert. 80,000! That's bigger than the entire city of Los Angeles in terms of land area. He spends 2 years walking around this desert, imagining what could be. There's this hill he names Galileo Hill, where he apparently stands for hours just thinking about his vision. By 1958, he's got architects drafted, guys like Smith and Williams who knew what they were doing. They designed this massive master plan, Central Park with a 26-acre artificial lake, golf courses, a Holiday Inn, neighborhoods laid out in perfect rings around the core like layers of an onion. Roads are drawn in grids across the whole property. Everything's designed, everything's planned, everything makes sense on paper. The brochures go out, and people actually buy in. Over 50,000 lots end up being sold over the next couple decades. 50,000 people supposedly dreaming of moving to this California city, this promised land in the middle of nowhere. Here's where it gets interesting, though. And by interesting, I mean where it gets really, really bad. Mendelsohn's sales tactics were, let's call them aggressive. He licensed out salespeople, basically trained his own army of real estate agents. At one point, the company had a sales force nearly as big as the actual population living there. They're selling the dream hard. Advertisements in the Los Angeles Times, promises about the future. This is inevitable, they're telling people. This is where California is going. But here's the thing about dreams that are sold too hard. Sometimes you start to notice they don't actually work in real life. By 1965, California City officially incorporates. The population is around 600 people. Already there's a problem though. The city is $7.5 million in debt. Not millions, 7.5 million in 1965 money. That's astronomical. Think about that. You're starting a brand new city and you're already completely broke. The real issue is that Mendelsohn had this vision about where the aquifer was. Turns out the water wasn't where he thought it was. The productive wells, the ones that actually worked, they're on the western side of the property. But his original downtown plan was on the eastern side. So they had to shift everything. They had to rebuild their infrastructure on the other side. That costs money they don't have. And people are starting to notice that maybe this isn't the sure thing they were promised. By the late 1960s, only 1,300 people have actually moved to California City. That's it. Out of 50,000 lots sold, 1,300. Mendelsohn sells his stake in the company to something called Great Western United Corporation in 1969 and walks away. He's already sold over $100 million in land, so he's fine. He's made money on the dream. The people who bought the lots are the ones who have to live with the reality. And then the Federal Trade Commission gets involved. They start investigating the company in 1969. They're looking at the marketing tactics, the promises, the way these people sold land to folks. By 1971, Ralph Nader, yes, the consumer advocate guy, his organization publishes a report that calls California City a straight-up fraud. They use words like stark study of government failure. It's bad. By the 1970s, the FTC comes down hard on the developers. 14,000 landowners get partial refunds from a $4 million settlement, the largest FTC settlement up to that point. And the company is forced to invest $16 million in infrastructure that should have been built years earlier. So now we're in the late 70s. California City has some infrastructure, but the market has completely dried up. By then, over 50,000 lots had been sold and basically nobody wants them anymore. Fast forward to right now, May 2026. What does California City actually look like? The population is just over 12,000 people, and it's declining, losing about 3.7% of its population every single year. It's shrunk by almost 19% since the 2020 census. It's dying slowly in the desert. But here's the thing that makes it so visually strange. All those roads that Mendelssohn and his architects planned, they're still there. You can see them on satellite images. Perfect grid lines, curving residential streets, all paved, all maintained. But there's barely anyone living on them. You've got empty lot after empty lot. You'll turn a corner onto a street and there's like 3 houses on it, and then nothing. Trees, more nothing. Another house half a mile away. The Central Park with the artificial lake, it's still there. Golf courses are still there. There's a McDonald's in town now, a few chain restaurants, some local businesses, but it feels like you're walking around a movie set that nobody finished. The median household income in California City is about $60,000. That's not terrible, but it's below the national average. About 23% of the population lives below the poverty line. It's not wealthy. It's not struggling to survive, but it's not thriving either. And the city is dealing with real problems. Just this year, in 2026, the fire department situation got weird. California City couldn't afford to keep operating its own fire department anymore, so Kern County took over. They absorbed 11 firefighters. The city sold its fire station and equipment to the county for nearly $4 million. That money helps cover some of the costs of county services, but the core issue is still there. The city is losing money faster than it can replace it. The city's been struggling with something called Measure C, which is a special tax for public safety that was passed back in 2018. That thing was bringing in money specifically for cops and firefighters, but it expired. Without it, there's a massive gap, millions of dollars missing. The city also had a correctional facility that closed, which took away another revenue stream, and they've been struggling to collect tax revenue from cannabis businesses, which should be a decent chunk of income in California these days. There's this weird paradox at the heart of California City that nobody really talks about. The land is actually pretty cheap. If you want to buy a lot or a house there right now, you can get deals that would seem insane if they were anywhere closer to a major city. But that's the problem. There's no reason to be there. There's no jobs. There's no cultural stuff. It's just desert, and the taxes are high for what you get. You're paying to maintain all those roads that nobody's using. You're paying to provide services to a tiny population spread across a massive area. So here's the wild part. The city is literally dying in one sense, but it can't die. It's incorporated. It's an official city. It's the 3rd largest city in California by geographic area, believe it or not. It's bigger than Los Angeles, but nobody knows that because the population is so small, the city just doesn't register. If you look at a map of California, you see Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Sacramento, all these major centers. You don't see California City, but it's physically larger than all of them. It's this giant empty grid in the middle of the desert. And you have to ask yourself, why is it still there? Why hasn't it just dissolved? Why didn't the state just say, okay, this experiment failed, let's fold this city back into unincorporated Kern County? Part of it is just bureaucratic inertia. Once you incorporate something, it's hard to unincorporate it. There's legal processes, there's land ownership issues, there's infrastructure that somebody has to maintain. You can't just erase it. But part of it is also that there are people living there. 12,000 people. These aren't squatters or transients. These are families who live in California City. They go to work, they raise their families. They have 4th of July barbecues in that Central Park with the artificial lake. The thing that gets me about California City is that it's not a total failure, but it's not a success either. It's just kind of existing. It's this weird middle ground. It's still here. The roads are still maintained. People still live there. The city government still functions, even though it's struggling financially. It's not abandoned. It's not abandoned. It's just there. And maybe that's the most interesting part of the story, actually. Not that the grand vision failed, but that failure doesn't actually destroy things. The city that was supposed to house 400,000 people is now home to 12,000. Is that a failure, or is it just a different reality than what was promised? I think about all those 50,000 people who bought lots in California City, thinking they were getting in on the ground floor of something big. Most of them probably never built anything. Most of them probably just held on to the land, hoping, and then at some point they sold it or gave up on it or just let it sit there. They believed in the dream, they bought into the vision, and the vision didn't pan out. That happens sometimes in California, doesn't it? California City is a monument to that. It's built right into the landscape. You can see it from space, these perfect grid lines in the middle of the desert. Infrastructure for a city that never came, roads that lead nowhere, parks that are beautiful and empty. It's like somebody froze a dream in asphalt and concrete. But it's also a place where people live, where they're trying to build something real, even if the dream that created it failed. That's kind of remarkable, actually. The resilience of just existing, of taking something that was broken and just carrying on anyway. California City was supposed to be impossible. It was supposed to be this revolutionary thing. It was supposed to change how California develops. It was supposed to solve the housing crisis. Instead, it's just a quiet desert town with empty streets and a declining population, and a city government trying to figure out how to keep the lights on. It's a reminder that not every big idea works out, that sometimes the future you plan for isn't the future you get. And that's okay. Life keeps going anyway.